Are there any South Pole bulls that at the AI studs like C-Mex or Gen X?
This is a good
That's
question
a good
for you.
question.
Yeah.
So yeah, this might be something in the works. We've talked to Greg about this actually a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Just because it would open up a market for people that may not may not be able to afford a $4,100 bull at that time. Maybe they have 3 cows, but they want to get some South Pole genetics or something.
Yep.
They can buy in, semen and breed their cows and then effectively have those genetics.
Yep.
So that we're actually in the process of looking into that. We looked at some numbers and keep you posted.
Yep.
If that's something that interests people, let us know, because it's like something that's on the edge of we're just thinking about. So,
and the other thing, although this not in this application that we're looking at because it's not an option, but the thing that I was also thinking about is as far as people are raising South Poles and can figure out a way to do this, because the international market for South Poles, that's really the only way. If you're in South Africa, Australia, South America, whatever, that's Europe, that's really the only way that you're going to be able to get South Pole genetics, unless you spend a crazy amount of money.
Unless you make the breed from what cattle are.
If you recreate it from scratch, you could do it, but
you wouldn't get the original South Pole.
Yeah, but to get the original South Pole genetics, the only way to do it would be to ship straws
or cattle, and straws are a
lot easier to ship than cattle. But that'd be one of the only ways that you could tap into an international market for South Pole genetics, and so that's another thing. I don't know, but the flip side of the whole AI thing too is the thing that Greg pushes and we agree with is letting the animal do the work. You know what I mean? Fewer inputs, mechanical or otherwise, inputs from you into the system. And so, it's one thing to just to input some South Pole genetics in the beginning using AI, but it's another thing entirely to have a full-fledged operation with AI being a big part of that, throughout its entire lifespan. I would be a little bit hesitant on doing that just because
I come from an educated source. So for those of you that don't know, I worked at a stud service. We collected semen on bulls. I worked there for a year and a half or so, and I think that, like you said, for something like getting some South Pole semen just to test, I think that'd be huge. But to try to rely on simply AI, it seems like such a headache, because you gotta, you got the seeders that you gotta get everything synced up and heat, and then you gotta, bring all your heifers or cows up and breed them all, and then whatever, the numbers, 40% of them won't catch, or maybe even more. I think it's even more than that. Something. There's some percentage. I think maybe it's 80% will catch or something. Anyways, then you gotta put a cleanup bowl in with them, and so then I don't know. I think there's a market for stock, that's where it really thrives. As far as commercial production, if you're more doing it for beef, I think it's a lot simpler to let the animals do the work.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more effective, and
probably at the end of the day going to be more profitable.
Mm-hmm. So.
Just two guys' opinion though.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there who it's a big part of their operation, but it's not something I'd be interested in doing.
My uncle does a lot of. He's got some Jerseys, and he also has some Piedmontese. He does a lot of AI, and for him, he's small enough that it's economical. It's more economical to buy semen than it is a bull, which makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
But for an operation like Greg's, the thought of trying to get everything up and breed them, and it's just so much simpler just to have bulls. Yeah. Plus the bulls are just absolute tanks.
And it's another revenue stream for you as well. So